Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, we're going to review Felmina as a 5-star with her Manifest weapon. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. Now bear in mind, this is not my Felmina, this is actually on my son's account, and if you've been following along on the channel, you know this is his. But of course, we're going to ask the most important question of all.
Is she hot or not?
Well, one look at her, and you already know the answer. Okay, so in terms of her Valor Chant at level 3, speed down and blunt resistance down by 25% for one turn. Speed is only down by 20%, so not bad as a defensive move if you're up against really fast bosses such as Ukwaji, but I wouldn't say it's the best Valor Chant out there. Now, in terms of the 3 moves we're going with, actually her kit is pretty versatile. We went with Accelerator, which can increase physical resistance of her, as well as speed increase for her by 30% for 3 turns. So that in itself isn't bad, but you also have options to choose either Dual Moon, which is blunt attack 2 times L, and blunt resistance minus 25%. That's actually not too bad as well, because there aren't too many blunt wind type users. Finally, you can use Skyward Shock, which is a stun attack. So there are some enemies and bosses vulnerable to stun, most notably Mimi. So if you've taken down Mimi or have had trouble with Mimi, you can try the all stun move. However, like I said, it doesn't work on every enemy, so bear that in mind as well. Now, there are 2 upgraded moves with Manifest weapon. First of all, the Licorice Blossom. Now, before Manifest, it was actually a non-elemental slash attack on a single enemy and inflicts poison and pain, but it wasn't guaranteed. And also increased power by 20%. Now, you can see it's guaranteed ignore resistance, as well as power of user by 30% for 3 turns. So, very similar and reminiscent of Demonic Thrust by Suzette OG with Manifest, and they play very well together, being that they're both wind type attacks. They're probably going to be used on the same team. Both can apply the status, or you actually can save one move and one person applies the status while the other person just lays the smackdown on the enemy. Finally, her signature move is a Tri-Cataclysm. So before, it was still 3 times XL attack. It didn't apply the physical resistance, and it didn't increase the critical damage of her by 1 turn. So don't forget, it's not critical rate, it's critical damage. So if you all own Miampha, you know how significant that can be, increasing the critical damage of a user or a person by 50%. And if you have other wind users like Dunarith, you can increase her crit rate so that she does significant amounts of damage. So here's her board. You can see the 2 moves that were upgraded. These are the ones before the Manifest weapon. There you go. And of course, she's a Miglin's Palace as well as Fists. Now, in terms of Grasta, right now my son obviously didn't grind a lot, so just a 10% tier 1 wind one. Keep in mind that you would really want to use, obviously, the 30% wind as well as pain and poison Grasta from the Antiquity dungeon in Garrelia. So, let's take her out for a spin. One downside to having Felmina on your team is that she doesn't have any AoEs. So obviously against bosses, she is superior damage-wise to Suzette OG even with Manifest. But otherwise, on her own, wandering through tougher forests and tougher battles, she's going to take a significant amount of damage. She doesn't have a self-heal, obviously. And against enemies who are resistant to wind, she only has limited options such as that Dual Moon, which we're not using right now. We have Accelerated there. I will say that most likely, if you're using those 2-turn AFs, you're not even using Accelerator, being that, you might not even use it for setup. However, if you do the 2-turn, you can probably cast that turn 1, and then, AF on turn 2. Bear in mind also, if you use zones, you won't be using that move anyways, because wind type attacks do boost the bar as soon as a wind zone character comes in that sets the wind zone. And you can see she was quickly overwhelmed by superior forces while searching for mobs. Okay, but what we want to really see is how does she shine against bosses? Now, if you're wondering why I chose Serene, first of all, I like the way she flicks away her glasses. We don't even know where they go. But the other reason is she has an HP stopper at 30% left. So we can actually see how much damage we can generate with even a half bar AF. In this first example, we have no manifest weapon equipped on Felmina, although we do have a zombie's manifest weapon. So we're going to start the same way. High wind booster, culmination winds, and then obviously the setup with the middle move and then try Cataclysm. Sorry, got a little bit stumbled there, being that I actually don't use Felmina since I don't have her. Stormbite on Claude is okay. My son, Jeff Morrison, does not have AS Claude, so obviously we're not establishing any sort of wind zone. If you don't have a wind zone setter, keep in mind that her 3x XL attack does boost the bar, actually, so especially against weak opponents. So that is a benefit for people who don't have a zone and are still using Felmina, because she, in her own right, is amazing. And here we go. With her manifest weapon, and of course we're using Azami's, we're going to do the same one turn AF. So we're going to start with High Wind Booster, Culmination Wind, Licorice Blossom to set the guaranteed poison and pain, and look at the damage stack up. So instead of just doing, tens of thousands, she's easily doing hundreds of thousands, and if she's lucky enough to crit, look at that, almost 400k a hit. And of course, there you go, another 490. Look at the damage difference, 8 million as opposed to just, I think, 3 million. And we'll just quickly finish off the battle just for the sake of completion. I remember when Serene was a little bit tougher back in the day when we didn't have a ton of 5 stars. I think I used 4-star Aldo, 4-star Amy. It was fun times. That being said, wind zones are really cool and wind is super OP. So, in conclusion, Felmina is now the top single wind DPS in the game, equipped with the right Grasta and on a superior wind team with either Dunarith, AS Claude right now, or in the future AS Vayne to set wind zone, and plays well with Azami and or OG Suzette with Manifest. You even can have Iska. She is amazing, and I really would like to have her on my team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.